Walking towards this car, it's hard not to be intimidated. 800 horsepower, 800 newton meters of torque, 800 kilos of downforce, 0 to 186 miles an hour in 18.8 seconds, and bodywork that we'll call brutal. And it's all attached to a name that I grew up revering.
Out goes the checkered flag, and Senna has won the jubilant, totally unflappable, imperturbable Brazilian is, for once, absolutely beside himself with joy.
Then there's the request that we wear a flameproof romper suit, a helmet and a hands device. It all ramps up the anticipation and jangles the nerves. The seat grasps you, and as you pull the harnesses tight it feels like you're being fused to the chassis. A driving position that can be perfectly tailored certainly serves to settle the pulse rate by a beat or two. But then you reach for the button in the roof, bring the twin-turbo 4-litre V8 to life, and the heart begins to thump once more. This is a car that will lap Esterills some 6 seconds faster than a 720S, which itself is nearly as fast as a P1. It's active aero and carbon discs, and you can brake 29 metres later than a 720S into Esterill's daunting downhill first corner. This doesn't sound like a car for the timid, and I have just a dozen laps split into 2 sessions in which to get to know it. So, nerves be damned, it's time to get stuck in.
Visibility in here all the way around. We've got these panels down here. I can't say I'm really looking through those, but we've got it in race mode. Obviously we're not trying any of the road settings today, so this is where you should really feel the aero through this kink here. And these brakes here, just seem to be able to lean on them literally as hard as you want, and they'll keep giving more. It's sort of, you're the limiting factor, not the car, certainly. Well, the engine is really smooth as well. It's not, it doesn't feel spiky, but there's obviously loads of power, but in a way it feels less intimidating on the power than the 720, because you're so well clamped in here. So it's supporting really flat. Just through this long turn here, turn parabolica, this is just when occasionally you feel like that 245 section front tyre, you're going to want a wider front tyre because it does seem awfully narrow, and it's the same with the P1. But just occasionally you felt like it. I'm going to concentrate on the braking. Under brakes you can load up the front tyres and you don't notice it so much there. It's the corners where you're not braking heavily into them that you notice the slightly narrower front tyre. Love this uphill corner here. It's really good, the ESP, just how it lets you use the power. You can get the thing moving around on the exit of corners, and yet it still feels really controllable. So stable through that. What a thing. This is certainly one of the more difficult cars I've had to try and talk and drive in. And I think the fact that it is actually still so drivable, quite a shock. It's not as intimidating as you think it's going to be. There we go. That's my laps. McLaren Senna, pretty much done. And a wonderful circuit in Estoril. circuit. What a road car.
As you can tell, this is a car that takes a lot of concentration to drive properly. Yet, for all the incredible speed it can generate, it doesn't feel ludicrously loud and alien, like a race car or even something like a track-focused but road legal radical. There simply isn't the intimidating pummeling of the sensors that I was expecting. The steering is light and smooth, the gear shifts are fast but fuss-free, and manoeuvring at low speed is a doddle. Only the fantastically firm feel of that brake pedal really stands out in the weighting of the controls. That the Senna doesn't possess a spine-tingling soundtrack is a shame, but the fact that the active aero adds speed and stability so seamlessly is incredibly clever. Turn 5 is easy flat, and the way the computers manage the downforce under braking so that you don't have to is wonderful. This sort of speed is never anything other than very, very serious, but I think the Senna makes it, well, as accessible as you could ever wish it to be.
So I've just stepped out of the car after the second of my 2 6-lap sessions, and I think I got certainly much closer to the limits of the car, certainly in the corners. The braking, in terms of performance, it's the braking that stands out. That's the thing that really, that will live with me for a long time. I've not experienced braking like that in a road car before. From the feel of the pedal to the actual power and stability of the brakes, it's just extraordinary. The other thing I think really pleasingly was just how good the ESP system is. It really does let you play, but also how easy the car is to drive on the throttle. There are a couple of corners here where you can, you can change up halfway through the sliding, just keep the slides going, and it doesn't feel snappy, it feels friendly. Overall, I think the other big thing that I'll take away from this, and the thing you have to keep reminding yourself about this car, is that it is a road car. So it lacks some of the visceral sort of noise and NVH and drama perhaps of a race car, but it's still a road car. And a road car that can do all of that on the circuit is pretty extraordinary.
All that remains now is to drive this road car on the road. Now where should we do that? If you would like to know in even more detail what the McLaren Senna is like to drive, or if you simply prefer the medium of the written word, then why not click on either the link in the description below or the link in the pinned comment, from whence you will be whisked to an article that I wrote on the very subject.